backstage, and they have a nurse at the church backstage. As you can see, I walked down the stairs to go to the back. When I walked in, I collapsed, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, are you okay? I was gonna stop you from performing. Your neck was purple." She goes, "What's going on?" I said, "I got bit by a spider last night. He bit me 6 times. And she pulls up my shirt and goes, "That's not a spider, those are shingles. Oh. And you are highly infectious." I'm like, "That's what the ladies say." She's like, "No, you're highly infectious. Like, you can go back out and perform, but we're gonna have to burn your microphone. And we're also gonna have to seal you up." So they put like a giant like Band-Aid hazmat suit thing on me. And I went out and finished another 30 minutes, and the people there never knew that I was sick. And most of this happened with the shingles because at the age of 21, I had a massive stroke, and the doctor said I would never perform again. I've been blessed to perform for the last 20 years. And I have a family, and they also said I would never do this. I want to show you this, and we're about to start. We haven't even started yet. We're just waiting for people to get their drinks. Then come on down. Come on down. We're just starting. We haven't completely started yet. This is the pre-show for the people that show up on time. So that's great. Appreciate you. Okay, so check this out. They said we would never ever do this, and just doing this so you guys get to know me.
That's our we thought he was pulling the truth on somebody.
And recently, I shaved my mustache. Well, I just grow my hair out, and I decided, well, I'm gonna get a mustache, and then so I shave it like this. But I need to make this video. I need to vent. My son, he's just been copying me way too much. I mean, I get it. He's my son. He should be able to have teams and like who he likes. But it's starting to get really crazy because he had a mustache. He had a full handlebar mustache, and he shaved when I shaved. And then he goes and he starts wearing the same outfits as me. He starts cheering for the same team, and it's getting to the point where I can't even have my own things anymore. It's like he's the way he looks at me, I mean, he's just like, he's well aware of what he's doing, and I need him to understand that he needs to make his own way of life. It's just one big joke to him.
Just one big joke to that kid. So that's our newest boy, and man, I tell you, yeah, thank you so much. No one's clapping. All right, so. I'm just showing you so you get to know me. When I travel, usually you have an MC, you have a feature, and then you have a headliner, and I usually headline. But tonight we don't have any of that because this is the $5 show, and you get what you pay for. So I have to open for myself. So give it up for your opener. Wouldn't it be great? Yeah. What else we got here? Let me see. That's. So anyways, so I'm just so glad you came. Is it time to start? Is it 5:30? Okay, good, we're starting, we're live. Okay, here we go. I was joking or something. Keep your friends down in the basement and do some jokes. It's Thanksgiving, we don't want to see you up at the big table. Go ahead downstairs. With the storm coming, she'd be concerned. Oh, it's safer down there. Go down there. I'm glad you guys came. We got a bad storm coming. There's one comes every week. I moved to this area. They are just obsessed with the super duper Doppler radar. We interrupt this program to let you know that the super duper Doppler radar has just detected a vicious cloud of drizzle heading towards a county that you don't even live in. Quick! To the storm shelter! Like, I was terrified, you know, until I found out that a lot of the rednecks around here, they had the generators, you know, and they showed me the way, you know. They the trucks, they got the big wheels on their trucks, you know. I'm from the city, I'm a big city driver, and I'm not used to that. I'm from Chicago originally. I'm not used to coming to four-way stops and having weird conversations. You go. No, you go. No, you go after you. I'm not driving you. Just go! So they've educated me, you know. When I first moved down here, it was just culture shock for me. You know, I was on a radio station. The lady goes, "What do you think of Branson?" I go, "Oh, it's great to be here in the South." And the lady goes, "What makes you think we're in the South?" It's like, I don't know, the Confederate flag souvenir shops kind of gave it away. So many of those in Chicago. Try selling that on the South Side. But, you know, and so I'm just getting used to everything. I'm getting used to it all, you know, I'm getting used to it. And in the storm shelters, at first, I didn't like it. I didn't like going down into the basement like the Wizard of Oz and closing the doors because the tornadoes coming. Because you live close to Oklahoma, they come every moment. If you're like in Oklahoma, there's a tornado just. Oh, look at it. You get so used to it. Like, oh, look, it's taking that off. Oh, look, it just knocked over that cow. Even the locals in Joplin are like, we're used to it. So it's just an annoying pest that is just like a fly. Oh, it's a tornado. It'll go away. Don't worry about it. But it's scary when you're not used to it, you know? And so at first, now I'm adjusting. Now I'm used to the storm shelter. And that's why I developed this. Because we have generators down in the storm shelter, so I have a pizza oven and a microwave. We got nacho cheese dip down in the storm shelter. And now I'm pre-recording the Weather Channel just so I can have an excuse for my wife when she's like, "What are you doing down in the storm shelter? It's sunny out." Oh, no. Watch the recording. It's a lavender color. Because you know on the news, it's teal. It's teal. It's bright orange. It's fuchsia. It's gonna kill someone. I don't even know what the colors mean. It's burgundy. That means death. We gotta get down there and make some pizzas. Burgundy is close to pepperoni. Let's do it. I mean, that's what I learned about the news, you know. The news, either when the ratings are low, they always have to scare you to watch, you know. They always interrupt your program, you know. We interrupt this program. You know, do you know that there's something in your house that's lurking that could possibly kill you? You're freaking out. Where is it? They go, tune in at 10 to find out. Listen, I don't have till 10. It's in the house. And it's lurking. Could you please tell me now? The weather news always have the thing pointing out the obvious. 60 degrees in Springfield, 60 degrees in St. Louis, it's 60 degrees in Kansas City, it's about 60, do I need a raincoat? That's all you need to say. And they're always like, the dew point up north. I don't even know what the dew point is. I'm not going to be surprised if you don't warn me. So I'm going to walk out of the house and be like, oh no, there's dew everywhere. Why didn't they warn me about all this dew? What am I going to do? I just got dew in my shoe. This is horrible. I just stuck with it. I like that laugh. It's like, I love that. Let it out, ladies. I was going to say ladies, but let it out, ladies. I'm speaking for everyone in the room, guy and gal. Don't be lazy. Give me one of those. This is the $5 show, man. And some of you are sitting at your tables like you're judges. I don't think it's that funny. I don't think it's going to make it to the finals. I'm in the basement of draft. I give you guys a round. I should have paid you for being here tonight. For the map you had to have to find me. Metal detector. I think he's downstairs. They said take the free shuttle from the resort. Come in the front door. Head towards the bathrooms. Go down the stairs. Comedy. I don't know. I mean, I have 2 kids now, so I really come here just to be on vacation. I love the mother. You're so funny. You got the kids at the table. She's like, yeah, we're still with them. Just can't get away from them, but you're glad you're out of the state though, right? Yeah, you feel like you're away from them, but you're still with them. Well, that just happened to me and my wife. We're trying to plan, like, we're going to go to Vegas together. But, you know, money is tight. Next thing you know, I have to settle for. It's going to take her to Miami Beach, but we're going to Rockaway. They got actual rocks on their beach, because that's romantic. Ow! 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 Honey! Ow! I forgot the cooler! I gotta go back to the car! Ow! Forgot to bring my sandals, too! I'm so glad we came to Rockaway! Just give me an orthopedic beach, please, with pillow sand. Man, you know, and then the sand gets hot. Oh no, I forgot the sandals! We didn't have sandals at my house, because I didn't come from a poor family. My family was on a budget. We don't have sandals in the budget. Those are too expensive. So, I don't know. I tell you what though, I use this room as a way to vent. And that's what you gotta do in life. You gotta laugh, but you gotta get it out. You gotta get it out. So I wrote a song, because when I moved here, I talked a little bit about it. It kind of frustrated me. So I wrote a song about it. And here we go. You guys like music, so I'm trying to get up to $1.50. I think this will get me to $2. Hopefully. This song goes out to all the people who have a hard time when it comes to driving. If you don't have a hard time when it comes to driving, you're probably the person who causes everybody to have a hard time. Girl, I got things to do. I know you see me in your rear view. Stepped on the gas, tried to pass you, but you're in the way. Oh, cause on my right there's a semi-truck. Tried to get around it, but I got stuck. Seems like I go through this every day. I know people have plans while they drive minivans. It's cool, just get off of your phone. Cause you're texting and eating, your blinker keeps blinking for the last 30 miles. Move to the right and just let me go. Cause there are so many people, yeah, driving in the fast lane, way too slow. Even geriatric people, yeah, driving in the fast lane, way too slow. They have the nerve, I gotta get to church, but they're driving way too slow. They're driving slow. Oh. I say they're driving way too slow. There it is. Now we're doing it. Now we're doing it. Do you like that, Dad? Where are we at? Where are we at financially? Where are we at? Quarter? Pretty low? 5 cents? Maybe. 3 pennies? I am sweating, Father. How many comics sweat? I'm working for you. Do you need another beer? I'll be right back. I want you to be happy, you know. So I showed you the video in the beginning. That's my boy. We just had him, which was crazy because they said I would never have, you know, they said I'd never perform again after my stroke, but they also said we would never have kids. We lost 3 kids. We lost twins about 2 years ago, and my wife was about 2 weeks away from full-blown cancer, and they said, you guys are done. And then I went to Phoenix, and I get a call from my wife, and she goes, don't sell all the baby stuff from our first child. I was gonna rummage it off, because she said we were done. And she calls me and goes, I'm pregnant. And then he was born 18 months ago. Aww. And healthy and doing great. And my first baby girl, she's 7 years old now, but when she was born, she was only 3 pounds, 15 ounces. And people were like, wow, your baby looks like a little doll. And I didn't believe people till I took her to the store and put her on the shelf. And that's a real picture, that's not Photoshop. That's actually my hand holding my actual child. Because that's what fathers do, we dream of having kids. You can't throw a ball at a baby though. You have to wait till they get old enough to catch it. But you've got dreams of playing with them, and this is our first child, and she's so little, and you can palm her. And when you're a father and you can palm your baby, you have lots of ideas going through your head. You're just waiting for the right opportunity. And I was walking through Target, seeing these dolls with this expression on their face. I looked at my baby and she had the same expression. I looked at the dolls. Those are her friends. I looked at the baby and I said to the baby, "You're going on the shelf." And before I looked at the baby and said that, I looked to see if my wife was in the restroom. She was. And then I said, "You're going on the shelf." Now she's 7, you know, and it's a great tool. This picture, I am horrible at taking pictures. Half the time I never take a good one. And this one is the only one I took of my child, and it worked. It's essential to parenting for me at my house, because every time my daughter acts up, I'm like, "You want to go back to Target?" I'll put you on that shelf. Nobody wants to go back to Target. Well, some people do. They're from Minnesota, because that's your only option. That's where they're based out of. Where are you from?
Minnesota?
Are you from Minnesota? He's like, "Go ahead and preach." I lived in Minnesota for 13 years. Man, but I grew up in, I grew up in the Midwest. I was born in Racine, Wisconsin. I always say Chicago because nobody knows where Racine is. I know you were looking at my name earlier, the Joey ILO. You're like, "What does that mean? Is it like J-Lo? What do the letters mean?" When I was a kid, they used to sing the song to be J-E-L-L-O. No, it's like Danny Aiello, the famous actor. It's Italian. It's A-I-E-L-L-O. But the A silent, people don't know how to say it. Last time I did a show with my real last name to introduce me like this. Please welcome to the stage, Joey Ayatollah. Where'd you get the T from? This ain't Wheel of Fortune. You can't just pick out letters and hope that it makes sense. I go to T for 500. I don't know. No, my great-grandfather's brother was Joey Aiello. He was the Aiello Brothers Mafia leader in the 1920s, and he came the closest to Killer Capone. And so that's really, really, truly why I go by Aiello, because if you Google my real last name, Joey A-I-E-L-L-O, that mobster shows up, and it's not good for your career. Your great uncle almost killed Capone. Oh, really? On the job resume? Oh, we Googled you. Looks like you're violent. Only when I drive. It comes out of me. Because Italians are passionate. Like my father, that was the great thing about Italian. When your dad got mad, you know it. Because when Italians get mad, they ask questions. "Hey, what's the matter with you?" I was just always scared of the machine gun question. Because that's when you knew you were going to get it. Because my dad would be like, "Hey, what did I take it into?" 3 cents? What did I say? I'm standing there crying. "I don't know what you said. You just spit in my eye." I can't even see you right now, Dad. What were you eating? Was that pizza with hot peppers? You just pepper sprayed me. Cut that out. You kidding me? Never went shopping with my dad because he could never give a good compliment. My father could compliment me and insult me in the same sentence. He was gifted at it. It's like, "Dad, you like this watch? I like it. I wouldn't wear it. But it's good. It's good. It's very feminine. Yeah, just a little feminine. Hey, but it's your birthday. Get the girls' watch. It's a good look on you." My dad heard that joke. He's like, "I don't do that." I'm like, "Yeah, Dad, you do. What do you think of my comedy?" He's like, "It's good. You're not funny. You're at 10 cents. But you're good. With him, you're at 3, but I wouldn't pay to see you. You're my son." People ask me, like, was there ever a day that you knew your dad was proud of you in your career? And the day came when I first started. Not first, but I was about 6, 7, 5 years in. And I was doing clubs all around the country. I was traveling. I wasn't a headliner yet. And I stopped home because I was like my father, I was on a budget. And I needed a place to crash. My father knew I was coming home, and so he had a DVD of his favorite comedian ready for me to watch. Walk through the door, he goes, I want to show you what a real comic looks like. He told me to come in the house, and he shows me this guy named John Pinette. If you don't know who he is, pretty soon I'll have his video. I just haven't had a chance to put it up, but he was a really heavy set guy. He used to do jokes about the buffet. He was on Seinfeld, he was on Broadway. He was actually in Hairspray. He was an amazing actor, but he was an amazing stand-up comic and a storyteller. He was, as far as I know, I think he had Italian background, but he was from New York. He talked with his hands, he was loud. He reminded me of my father. I was watching his DVD for 4 hours. It wasn't supposed to be 4 hours. My father kept rewinding to his favorite parts, doing play-by-play. Come watch this punchline, it's much better than yours. And finally I sneak out of the house at 3 in the morning because I didn't want to watch another DVD. And I get to the club, the next club I'm working. I'm at the Funny Bone in Columbus, Ohio. You never get to pick who you're going to work with. And they said, you're working with John Pinette tonight. I just got done watching 4 hours. I had never seen that guy before, but I don't want to see him. I'm tired of all his material. But he's my father's favorite comic, and my dad said, maybe you could get to his status. I'm working with him. But here's the thing, you can't go up to a celebrity when you're in this industry and be like, hey, could you sign this when you're working together? They always tell you at the clubs, you want to be a tourist? We can make that happen. We'll have you sit out in the audience, or do you want to work tonight? So I didn't want to get caught fraternizing. But I knew I needed to come home with some kind of evidence that I worked with my father's best comedian, way better than me, comedian. And so we had 2 shows, and I didn't know John was watching my set. And we have a break, I'm sitting at the bar, he comes and sits next to me and goes, you're funny. Kind of, you're funny. It reminds me of my father. My dad will love this guy. They're almost similar. But, he goes, no, you're very good. He goes, so who's your favorite comic? I was like, well, you weren't until last night. And I told him what my father made me do, and he goes, well, let's call your dad. I was like, you want to call my dad? He goes, yeah, let's call him. And so I pulled my phone out, I dialed the number. I don't even have it on speaker. I was amazed at how much my father and this guy, who I just met, were so much alike. Our dad starts out the conversation subtle, picks up the phone. Yeah, who is it? John Pinette goes, Jimmy! My dad goes, yeah, who's this? It's John! And my dad goes, John who? It's John Pinette! And my dad goes, shut up! And he hangs up on me. And John's like, you just hung up on me. I was like, he loves you. That's the way we show love in our family. We hang up on people we love. And I went home that Christmas, and it was a ticker-tack parade for me. My family was throwing me up in the air. He's the real comic now. And that's when I knew I made it. That's when I knew. I don't know. Because this was my childhood growing up. This is my first album. The DVD is called Raised by Clowns. I remember I was promoting it in the South. I was promoting this DVD in the South, and this lady comes up to me after the show. I am offended that you would refer to your parents, the ones that gave you life, as a bunch of clowns. Now, what did they do for fun? They were clowns. That's it, you're joking around again. Tell me about your father. Well, he was a police officer. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. What did he do for fun? He was a clown. Okay, I'm not going to talk about clowns. Was he a believer? Yes. He was a Christian. He was a cop, a clown, and a Christian. That's it, I'm not talking to you anymore. She walked away from me. I was telling the truth. My dad was a cop, a clown, and a Christian. That's not an easy trifecta. Especially nowadays, a lot of people like to run away from cops, clowns, and Christians. My dad's motto was, come back, I'm not done talking to you yet. Every time I do that line, I just imagine the Titanic movie. Come back. But it's true, people are scared of clowns nowadays. I'm not, I should be. Think about it, your parents never came home from a parade dressed as clowns and forgot that they were dressed that way. Then proceeded to yell at you to clean up your room. As a bunch of clowns. My dad's standing in the doorway just freaking out in costume. Clean up your room! Rainbow-colored hairs flapping around. What did I say? My mom's ruffles are actually ruffled. Do what your father says. My dad's stomping his big shoe asking questions. You think this is funny? You think this is some kind of joke? This is where the story gets weird, you know, like I said, this is my actual family. You can't make this stuff up. If you look up closely, up there, the little clown in the white pants, that's me when I was 9 years old. My dad's in the middle, he's wearing those clown shoes, and then these are my dad's actual shoes. So that picture was taken in 1984, and with the power of Photoshop, we were able to put it on the cover. So that was my mom with the white hair, because she was my mom. My sisters and my brother, and those are the shoes that I was wearing. You know, it was like, I remember when I put those shoes on, they were very old when we took that picture, because those shoes go back all the way to the 70s, and the guy said, well, be careful, because, you know, if you press too hard, they'll shatter in your hand. And I hadn't tried them on since I was 9, and so I was like, okay. This was important to me because my father died of a stroke in 2010, and this was a tribute to my father. Because I always promised him I'd follow in his footsteps. I gotta tell you, those are some big shoes to fill. So I was nervous because I didn't want to wreck these shoes. I wanted to keep them in the family for my son someday to see them, you know. So when I went to put them on, you know, I was just worried, and they fit like a glove. The minute I slipped them on, they just fit like a glove. Not an OJ glove, but they fit. It's an old reference, but it works because it's on Netflix. But it fit like a glove, and it was awesome, man. It was just so cool too. It brought back so much memories, you know. My dad used to dress us up. We used to do parades together as a clown family. We get dressed at home. We put the wig on, and the makeup, and the big shoes. And we go in the car and go to the parade as the clown family. Yeah. We pull up next to regular families without their costumes on at the red light. I couldn't wait for them to look over and see the joy of my family. And one day it happened, I'm sitting at the window, come on, look over. This family looks over and freaks out. The kids are the same age as me and my brother. The whole car's going up and down and left and right. I remember I looked at my brother and I looked at them and looked back at my brother and I said, they are so weird. What a strange family. Get a life. How dare you? How dare you? So that, you know, that's you know, then I moved here, you know. I'm a big city guy. I lived in Minneapolis. I actually lived in Minneapolis, Minnesota for 13 years. But I grew up in the North. Like, when you grow up in the North, you just can't go out and play. You have to get ready, and that takes time. I remember one winter my mom made me wear 2 snowsuits. You can't even walk in one, but 2. You know how loud 2 snowsuits are with the fabric rubbing it? Shh. Every time I moved, it made a scratch noise. Kids on my bus thought it was a DJ. Go ahead and scratch your DJ snowsuit on the 1s and 2s. Scratch it. But my mom wasn't done getting me ready with the 2 snowsuits when she got the 2 on. She had to top it off with the 30-foot scarf. She's lassoing my head and mummifying my face and talking to me. Hold still. Hold still, dear. It's going to keep out the cold. I'm like, it's keeping out the air, mother. I can't breathe. But don't worry about your hair. Your hair will be fine. Don't you worry. That wasn't even the worst. The worst had to be the mittens with the strings running through the coat. go-go gadget mittens. People from the South are like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Let me break it down for you if you're not from the South. If you're from Florida or you're somewhere like that. In the North, we have to wear mittens, and they put them on strings, and they run them through the coat. It seems like a great idea. But when you're hyperactive, it is not a great idea. But your mom cares about you. She gets them even, so they hang just slightly like this. By the end of the day of a hyperactive kid's life, and it only takes a couple hours, just dragging your mitten home. When you're a kid, you got priorities. Afternoon cartoons are on. You gotta get home. And when afternoon cartoons are on, you'll do anything to see your favorite show. You don't care what you get tangled in. It's coming with you. I get home, my mom's like, where'd you get this bike? I don't know. Must have got tangled in the mitten. Well, who's this kid riding on it? Well, I don't know who he is. He must have got tangled. My mom goes, well, I better call his mother. She must be worried sick. Better Google who he is. My mom loves to say that word nowadays. We better Google him. She always shakes her head. She didn't say that back then, but nowadays, we better Google it. She kind of understands how it works, but she, well, if you don't know where your wallet is, maybe you should Google it. Go downstairs and Google with your friends. It's gotta be somewhere. My mom, for her birthday, I got her a 1991 Sony camcorder, because it's more her speed, you know. It's a VHS. It's a little big. Every time she uses it, she looks like she's with the network. Coming through, honey, watch the car. I made sure it had a zoom feature on it. You know, I got it at a rummage sale for a good price. My father would be proud. And it's got a zoom feature. My mom doesn't know how to work it, though. She still gets close to everything. Mom, what are you doing? I'm zooming, honey. And my friends are like, why don't you get her an iPhone? I'm like, I can't do that. She'll try to upload her videos. Nobody wants to see those. Because this is what every home video looks and sounds like when my mom's recording. Is it on? Well, I don't know if it's on. Well, the red light's on, but that means stop. It doesn't mean go. Well, I would hold it up, but it weighs 50 pounds. Well, come over here and Google it and show me how it works. She ties herself up. She's like tied to a post. I can't come over there. I'm all tied up. We didn't have this cord wrapped around me. I'd be fine. I remember, you know, when I travel, I go to small towns. I love when I go to small towns because they're always proud of stuff you're not supposed to be that proud of. I was in Stanley, Wisconsin. They're like, you want to go see what we're known for? I'm like, yeah, what? We have the biggest prison in the state. Well, seeing I'm trying to stay out of prison, I'll sit this one out. My mom, like when I go on the road, I can tell the type of things that my mom would go look at and what she would do. Like, you know, you guys come to Branson, and I can only imagine certain people have certain tastes, you know. You know, some of the stuff you're looking at to go to, you're like, who would go to that? My mother. Like, I was in Mansfield, Ohio, and I had a show, and afterwards I went down to the front desk to the concierge. I wanted to know if there was anything to do in Mansfield. The lady goes, well, you could go on an Amish tour. It's like, is there anything else we can do? She goes, no, the van leaves at 3. Be there. So I said, well, what's it like? And I kid you not, she said this word for word. She goes, well, it's kind of like a safari. I'm like, yeah, but these are people. These aren't animals. She goes, yeah, but they're fun to look at. Well, what do you do? She goes, we take you out to where they live, and you get to see them in their natural habitat. Word for word. I don't want to go on that tour. What's that tour like? The tour guide's like, get down, you guys just spotted a wild pack of Amish. right over there. Shh, get down, don't use your flash, it reminds them of electricity, it might spook them. You know, my mom would be on that tour. She'd have her camera out. Oh, look at! There's some Amish people in there. She'd go right into their house. Oh, they're churning butter. How about that? I can't wait to get close to it. I'm zooming. Let me zoom in on that tree. Oh, man. So this explains a lot. I got clown in my blood. And I moved to Branson, I didn't know what to do here. You know, I'm a stand-up comic. And I had my own show. I started at the Jim Stafford Theater, and no one was coming to it. I gotta do something different. You know, the crazy thing was that tribute artists live here. That's where they dress up like other people, but they're not. And now I'm friends with these guys. Like, I never had a friend who was Elvis, but he's not. Oh, look, it's Greg. No, that's Johnny Cash. It's like a whole new world for me. And where I started in comedy, you're not supposed to like do props and wear hats and do things. They call you hacky. And I didn't, you know, I come from the Minneapolis comedy scene, and I was like, oh, it's a good scene for stand-up. And I'm like, I don't want to get a bad reputation, but then I wasn't getting any money. And I was like, I'm never gonna be somebody I'm not. And then someone said, well, you look like one of the characters from the Andy Griffith Show. And that's a huge, huge compliment down here because they love the Andy Griffith Show. I kind of remembered it as a kid watching, you know, I remember Don Knotts. Everybody knows pretty much Don Knotts. Andy, I remember that. It's an old, it goes way back to this Thelma Lou. I was like, well, who do I look like? I don't look like Andy. I don't look like, they're like, you look like Otis Campbell. Hey, what are all these people doing here? What is this, an AA meeting? I know what this is. I know what this is. It's this guy's night out. That's what it is. Big spender. Same one for me, all right? I'm sorry, ma'am. I don't want to get too... Am I too close?
Yeah.
You want me to back up? Okay, that's fine. I respect the ladies' space. I'm not going to get close to you. I'm a gentleman. I'm married. I have a wife. And I know that wives need their space, and so I'm going to give it to you. Let's act like that never happened. I'm gonna get you a free Diet Coke. Or a Coke. Or a Coke and Diet. Coke, Jack and Diet. Or anything that will help you not remember. Okay. Let me try it again. Hold on, that's not gonna hurt you. See, if I hold it right like this, now I can talk to you. Yep. I don't know, honey. Don't touch the equipment. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hit you with that. You all right?
I'm fine.
So I started actually getting paid to do Otis deals. Oh, don't worry about it. No, you're all paranoid. You know when it's tight. So I started getting flown around the country to do Mayberry Days, or these small towns that think they're Mayberry, and they have festivals. And this is in Mount Airy. This is at Snappy Lunch. This was actually on the Andy Griffith Show, and this Mount Airy is basically Mayberry. That's where Andy Griffith grew up, and so they have the Mayberry Days every year. And this is at the Snappy Lunch restaurant where Andy used to go after school with his best friend, and his best friend owned this place, and he passed on, and this is his wife who runs it to this day. And when I walked in, I had my hat with me, and they told me to go in there and surprise her, and she said to me, she goes, we've had a lot of Otises come in here over the years, but we've never had one come back to life. And I thought that was a huge compliment, you know? And so I started getting asked to go surprise people, and I was in Kentucky, and after Mayberry Days, they told me to go into this bar, and they told me not to break character no matter what, because the owner was a huge Otis Campbell fan. And I had my hat, and I walked into the bar, and the owner was out of town. And the bartender was 21. And she had no idea who Otis Campbell was. And the first thing she says is, "That's it! You're cut off!" And I go, "I haven't even started yet!" And she goes, "Get out!" Now here's the thing you gotta know. Look, I didn't want to play Otis because I've never drank in my life. I've never been drunk. And the guy who played him, believe it or not, his name was Hal Smith, and he lost his job because he played a drunk. They wrote him off the show because of political correctness. They thought it'd be offensive. But the guy never drank. The guy who played him never drank. He never was drunk. There was a guy named Foster Brooks. He never drank. He never was drunk. It's like a weird after-school special. And I didn't think I knew who Hal Smith is, but everybody in this room knows who Hal Smith is because he was the voice of Winnie the Pooh. He was the voice of Gumby. He was Goofy for over 25 years. And when he got written off the Andy Griffith Show, he became one of the best voice-over actors of our generation, or our time, or for history, next to Mel Blanc. He was a Christian, so he also did Davey and Goliath, that claymation. He did the Jetsons. He did Scooby-Doo, a lot of the characters off of there. And I went to college for radio and television, so as I'm studying him, I'm like, wow, this is fascinating. So I just got kicked out of a real bar, and I'm thinking he'd be proud. So I go to get my rap card because I had invented this show in town called the Barney Fife Fully Loaded Show. And it made sense because Barney's fully loaded, he's got the one bullet. And Otis is fully loaded because he's always fully loaded. And I have the rap card. I figure I'll get the rap card, I'll bring it back to the bartender who just kicked me out so she can give it to the owner and we'll all laugh. One big mistake. When I walk out, I'm clumsy in real life. I drop my keys and the people on the patio thought I was the real drunk. So they called the real police. And it was a small town and it didn't take long for them to get there. And it wasn't Andy. And I have no idea that they're there for me. I'm busy trying to find my rat cards. I'm thinking that it's dark out. I could really use a light. And all of a sudden they started flashing. Oh, thanks. I'm looking back at the restaurant like, oh, someone's in big trouble. I have no idea they're there for me. And all of a sudden, I got my keys in my hand with the driver's side door open, and they shine that bright light on me like I just broke out of prison. And I'm still in character, and I don't know what to say, so I go, I'm Otis Campbell! And the cop knows who Otis Campbell is. And he comes over the loudspeaker, I don't care who you are, get on the ground! And I go, if you're gonna do a tribute, make sure everybody knows what you're doing. In my head, I'm thinking, I'm in big trouble, but I'm not gonna break character. I wasn't moving fast enough. The cop came up to help me and he slams me on the hood. I'm thinking, I should break character. And right when I went to break character, I raised up and he slammed me back down. And something said to me, hold still before you get tased. I waited for him to pull me up again. First thing he asked me is, how much have you had to drink tonight? I start laughing, nothing. And he's like, well, we'll see. And he pulls out a breathalyzer. Listen, I'm 100% sober. I've never drank in my life. And I've always wanted to try this. I was in special education my senior year. I didn't pass a lot of tests. And I'm about to do a sobriety. I can't wait. I got an edge for the first time in my life. I don't know how it works. I don't know how alcohol works. I've never been really around it much. Never done a breathalyzer. He tells me to blow into the deal. I'm blowing the wrong way. This way. Oh, into this. Okay. I'm cooking up a hurricane. I don't smoke. I got healthy lungs. He looks down. He's upset. He goes, "You just blew a 0.00." I go, "Is that bad?" Then being in special education, I thought about what he said. I didn't even score a point. He pulls his handcuffs out. I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa." He goes, "You mind putting these on and getting in the back of my car? I can take a picture for the Sarge." I'm like, you guys got guns. I'll do anything you want." I get in the back seat of a real police car in the middle of the parking lot. People are coming out from the bar, just watching. They think I'm really going to jail. You know, I'm sitting with my hands cuffed behind my back, taking glamour shots. Cops yelling at me, "Do the eye, do the eye." The bartender comes out and she goes, she sees me. She thinks I'm going to jail. She goes, "Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we want to press charges." And the cop goes, "Ma'am, it's a big misunderstanding. He's a comic. He didn't mean to hit the lady with the mic. Don't press charges. No, that was just, don't tell corporate they're in the back. Don't tell them they witnessed it. Now I'm gonna maybe lose my job. Don't tell them." But it's never happened in all my shows, but when corporate comes, guess what happens? Boom! You hit the lady. Don't tell them, don't call the cops. Okay, see, I'll get you another lemonade. On me, it's on the house, don't press charges. And she goes, "Oh my gosh, I almost got you in big trouble." She goes, "Let me make it up to you, come in the bar. Come in the bar." I come in the bar, she goes, "You want a drink?" True story, can't make that stuff up. I've never drank, I've never done drugs, which I think is very important. Could you imagine being on drugs? Even the drug dealers would be like, "Don't sell it to him! What are you, crazy?" So kids, no, stay away from that stuff, man. Don't do what your parents, the funny parents are. Don't do what I'm doing right now. I'm like that. "Dad, don't pay your taxes, son. You didn't pay your taxes." "Well, I'm working on it." "Well, the IRS is here. I'm gonna pay it now." I love doing comedy, and I'm just so glad you guys came. So you guys are from Minnesota, and you guys are from Florida. So none of that maintenance stuff. Deducted 10 cents from my pay. So we're back to zero, Dad? You're from up north, originally? So now you're in Florida. You're in what section? Fantastic. It's a complicated story. I like it. I like you. I like you. Really relate. He's like, "Go away. I don't want to tell anymore. I don't want to get in trouble." And we talked. You're from Indiana, and you're from Michigan, and you're from Louisiana. That's what I'm talking about. We went to, oh man, that was funny. We were in Louisiana. We flew, true story, we did a Louisiana festival as Barney and Otis. And we got to Shreveport Airport, and they had a gun safe. My partner, Barney Fife, he had a gun safe, but somebody messed up the code. The TSA was pushing too many buttons, and it locked it for good. And so they refused to let us get the gun out because they didn't know if it was real or not. They weren't going to let us take it, and because they couldn't open it, now we don't have a gun for Barney Fife. And we're going to do a big festival. I think it was a state fair in Louisiana. You can't do Barney without the one bullet and the actual gun. It's just part of the show. And so we get to Louisiana, we get to the festival, and my partner goes, "I'm sorry, they confiscated my gun at Shreveport Airport." And he goes, "Don't worry about it. We'll give you a real gun." And this is the mayor. So they give us a real gun and a real police car. And okay, so that story had happened before. This is recent. We just recently did this last year. They give us a real police car and a real gun. There's no bullets in it, but we're driving, and then they're not even following us. Usually, if they give you a police car, they want to know where you're at all times. We were going around with the loudspeaker. My partner gave it to me. Hey, what are you guys doing over there? We were just messing people. I love Louisiana. You can't go, you can just do anything you want to out there. I got a gun, folks. Don't worry, I'm just carrying it. I don't have a license. This is what I do. I'm an entertainer. Just love that. It's cool, man. I mean, you gotta understand, I come from, an Italian family, and I'm a big city guy. I'm not much of a hunter, and when I moved down here, like Arkansas is really close, and they hunt, but they are, I don't call it hunting, because I always ask them, what do you hunt? And they say squirrel. And I go, what do you use? And they go, double gauge shotgun.
Blow the whole squirrel away.
That's not hunting, that's cleaning the forest. When the bullet is bigger than what you're hunting, you're like a magic show. Just making stuff disappear. I was gonna eat it, but there's nothing left. Thanks a lot. I'm so glad you killed 7 of those. I always wanted to go hunting. I have a friend, he's like, well, if you're gonna go hunting, there's things you have to have. I'm like, good, because I don't want to have a lot of stuff, so I'll just do the easiest one of all the hunting. I'll go duck hunting. He goes, no. There's things you have to have when you go duck hunting. You need a duck. I'm writing it down, tell me more. What else do I need? He goes, you need a duck blind. I've never heard of this. You gotta be blind when you're hunting for ducks. I'm writing it. He goes, you need duck waiters. Great, they're sitting at the table, they need service like draft. Corporate's here, could you get me a bartender? This is like my Santa wish list. I'd love to have servers and an active bar for the ducks. Okay, you need a duck decoy. He said this is very important because it's a duck who's not a duck, but he looks like a duck, and his sole purpose is to attract more ducks. And I was gonna go to the store and get all this stuff till last week and went to the park with the loaf of bread. And they all just came right up to me. And I realized I don't need any of this stuff. I just need a loaf of bread and a hammer. This is Southeast! Being from an Italian family, we love whacking stuff. We didn't even have to take the boat out. This is fantastic. I just whacked 12 ducks. My dad would be so proud. Come on, we're having a party. Just whacked 12. Put them on the wall. Funny. I'm married. Corbett's in the room, I can't whack it. But if Corbett wasn't here right now, not appropriate. Corbett went to leave. He's like, I'll let you do it. You guys are fantastic. I'm married, believe me. How long have you been married? You two married?
14,
How many?
14 years.
14 years, that's awesome. What's the longest marriage we have in the house tonight? 36. 36? Anybody? She was so confident. 36, no one can beat that. 38. What is that? 38. 38, it's like an auction now. 38, 38, 39, 39, 40, 40, 45, 45. What do we got? Anybody back there?
No.
No?
We're not in the auction.
You're not in the auction? You're dating? How long you been dating?
2 hours? 39 years.
2 hours? Come on, let's celebrate a honeymoon! This is the honeymoon. Welcome to the basement, where dates come true. I'm bringing couples together. That is awesome. Aren't you from Canada?
Hey!
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love the Canadians, man, because when they say something, they say the sentence, they say the letter A after the sentence. They say stuff like, "I'm going to the store." My family, we flip that. We go, hey! We love that letter. We use it for everything. We walk into a room, hey! We get upset, we say the letter and ask a question, hey, what's the matter with you? I love Canada. I just don't like your geese. I'll be really honest. You guys are like the neighbors who can't control their pets. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're the neighbors who can't control their pets. You don't have much of a military, but your birds are dropping bombs all over my backyard. Very productive. Very productive bird. Do the goose, do the Canadian goose call. That sounded more like a Canadian goose. You got it still? She put it away. That's a Canadian goose. That's a Canadian goose. I like it. So I've been married 10 years. That means nothing in Branson. I met a couple last year married 71 years. I asked the couple, I said, what's your secret to 71 years of marriage? The guy goes, don't die! That's good. If you die, you're disqualified, huh? I met another couple married 39 years. That's not the amazing part. They said they never fought in 39 years of marriage. I said, ma'am, please tell me your secret. She goes, he was in the Navy for 37. I never thought me and my wife would fight when we got married. I was wrong. I've learned something valuable. I've learned that me and my wife have different tempers. The way we get upset is just different. I think that's women and men in general. Like the way we process anger is just different from each other. Me personally, I have an amnesia temper. I'll get upset and forget why I'm mad. I'll be like, you know what? I'm hungry. Found out that first year of marriage, you can't do that with the ladies. You can't get upset and forget why you're mad. They don't forget anything. They're organized. They have a different type of anger. They have a filing cabinet of anger. These young girls, you're gonna watch out. It's a digital file, holds a lot of memory. Holds terabytes and gigabytes of memory. First year of marriage, my wife never argued back. She just stood there and smiled because she was recording. Go ahead, say something stupid. Well, I've been dying to put something in your file. It's like her whole head was a computer just downloading gigabytes of anger until one day, out of nowhere, complete, she decided to unload on me.
Sweet, precious.
Nobody at the wedding warned me, not even the pastor, that she might hold things against me. Like the Miranda rights, that's a warning. So are the wedding vows. I think we should put the Miranda rights in the wedding vows. It will help the young guys out in the service of rock. Do you take this woman, for better or for worse, in sickness and in health, and in arguments and disagreements, you have the right to remain silent. Because anything you say can and will be used against you, as long as you both shall live. Thank you, guys. So I got 5 minutes left. You guys have been an awesome, awesome crowd. I don't want to put a price on my merch. I will say that this goes, it helps me feed my family, basically. But in the beginning of, this is so cute. I found these on the internet. My son absolutely loves, this is his favorite binky in the world. I know we don't have a lot of babies, but if you know somebody having a baby, as a baby boy, I went to St. Louis, went to a Cardinals game, and everybody was like, where did you get those binkies with the mustache? It's the mustache binky. This is what my son was wearing. I don't have a picture of that other than the video, but you don't have to, I'm not going to put a price on these. If you want to give me anything for that, and then I also have a DVD. So I have a DVD for sale, and we shot it in Joplin, Missouri. It's my newest one. And so I'm not going to put a price on the DVD or the binkies or whatever. If you just want to put some money in the hat, that will go towards covering the cost of this stuff. I really appreciate you guys. If you felt like this was more worth than $5, by any chance you thought that this show, I'm at $1. Thank you, appreciate it. So it's $1 worth for him, but if it's worth more for you, feel free to put more in the hat, and so I'll leave that here. I do want to leave you with another song. Can I do that for you guys? You guys have been fantastic. Do you guys have any questions at all? Great, thank you for asking. What a talkative bunch. We didn't get done with everybody. So you're from Canada. You guys are from Louisiana, the right? Where are you? Ohio. Ohio. OH. Did you see the look on their face when I said that? I said OH and they go. Do you know why? Because they want to finish that sentence. They need to finish that sentence. They need to say, Iowa. Exactly. They just didn't want to blurt it out. OH! Because that's what Ohioans do. I could be talking to this lady, so I went to the OH bakery the other day. You're a quiet Ohio group. Are you really from Ohio? No. Are you from Mansfield? Where are you from in Ohio?
A small town.
A small town. They're like, what do you do for a living? We give Amish tours. I love it. Fantastic. My kind of people. Okay, well, who else we got in the back? Where you all from? St. Louis. You from St. Louis? Oh, I'm sorry. Come down to see what I got. You know what? No wonder why you haven't laughed all day. I can do better than that one. I can do that. No, I'm just kidding. You look familiar. You look very familiar. I'm glad. I'm very honored that you came. Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate you.
I got another 5 if you want to do an hour.
You got another 5? Well, you know, believe it or not, I mean, he knows the business. I mean, I was telling these folks before you all came in, this really is like my open mic. This is where I'm able to develop new material for the road. And so instead of wasting my time going to an open mic with 17 comics in the back who only get 3 minutes and they're hating on you because they're doing the same thing you're doing, you're able to develop new material. And so thank you so much for not only coming, but I get to try it on actual people from all over the country who are tourists and who will go back. And also if you book it and say you're from a church or a corporation, I work clean. And if you want me to come to your city on the off season, I travel all around the country. And so you can book me to come there. I'll probably charge you actual money for that, like a pack of ramen noodles or something. I'm everybody's favorite. I work hard though, and I sweat a lot. You know, I used to rap back in the day. Oh, where's this table from?
Birmingham.
Alabama.
Birmingham.
Okay,
Y'all from Alabama. Finally,
well, thanks for
somebody.
coming. I'm gonna end with a song that I wrote. I used to rap back in the day, and so people are like, now when they look at me, they're like, you don't look like you could rap. Well, I could, but the thing is, if I did it nowadays, the music would be kind of old school, and if it's gonna play, sometimes it doesn't switch over because of the connection. That's the only thing about this room. I have T-Mobile.
I can relate.
Everybody's laughing. They're a horrible service, but they're good at some places. Like it's playing right now, it's just you can't hear it, you know? But it's actually like the little meters moving. My mom would be proud. Like, oh, I can figure out the rhythm. We can't really do the show without the connection! Let me just take it off the grid. I'll just take it off the grid and I'll play it from the phone. What do you think? This will be my grand finale. And I'm glad that corporate...
Hold it up to the mic.
What'd you say?
Hold it up to the mic.
Hey, that's what I'm working on.
Not fast enough.
You're so cute. Daddy's working up here. I'm just not good with technology. I need you to rub it in. How old are you?
11.
Yeah. I got an email when you were 16 months. Who's emailing you, Elmo? Oh, boy. That's what I'm